New multi-viewer magic from Ensemble Designs. Stunning detail and simple setup. Easy, click-to-fill configuration from your Mac, PC, or iPad. The new Avenue Multi-Viewer from Ensemble Designs.
Hello, I'm David Austerberry from Broadcast Engineering, and I'm here at NAB 2013 with Brad Gilmer, who is Executive Director of the Advanced Media Workflow Association, the AMWA. Morning, Brad.
Good morning, David.
And we're here to talk about FIMS. If you could give us an update on the FIMS project, the Framework for Interoperable Media Services.
Absolutely. Just very briefly, what FIMS is creating media SOA, service-oriented architectures. And in terms of what's new, there's been an awful lot of concentrated activity to develop something that's called a repository service. Repositories, a place to store content and then modify that content and get that content back out later. They're really at the core of media facilities. When you think about editing systems or MAM systems or any of that, all of that has a repository at its core. And so what we are looking at doing is breaking that repository piece out separately as a surface that could exist on a network, and then being able to have all kinds of interactions with that service through a standardized interface, so being able to update it, add content to it, delete content, all of those kinds of things. And that may seem like just basic functionality, but it's absolutely critical in media facilities, and it really is the first time that this sort of operation has been standardized. The interface to these sorts of systems has been standardized. So it's significant work, over 1,500 hours of development work on it, and we're nearing completion on that, and it's a significant addition to the functionality that we have in FIMS.
And is there an immediate requirement for that by the broadcaster?
Sure. Bloomberg is really leading the way with that. They have already done a trial implementation with that. VSN and Avid are working on some partial implementations of it as well. It's very early days for that. As I say, it hasn't been finished yet. But it is functionality that absolutely is required in many different systems. I was in a meeting the other day, and the guys at Turner had said that they absolutely thought that they could use this kind of a service in their facilities. And so yes, there are companies that are immediately looking to implement this.
So what's the status now on the services? Where do we stand?
So we have completed service definitions for ingest, transcode, and transfer. The one that we've just been talking about, the content repository, is essentially done. QA, quality assurance, is coming up next after that. And then we will be having some business-driven discussions with the user group within FIMS to determine what comes after that. We're working in an agile way, David, so we try to be very specific in the near term about what we want to do and do that work, and as we approach the end of that, then you'll ask our users what's the next most important thing.
So the users can see an immediate benefit, they're not having to wait years before there's something they can use.
Exactly, and also for an effort like this, it's a volunteer effort within a trade association, and we don't want to spend a lot of volunteers' time on things that users don't want. And so it's a very direct, immediate connection between the business demand and output from the group, and so far it seems that that's worked very well.
Now, FIMS is a very different way to architect a business from legacy systems, and are you seeing a lot of interest from the broadcast community? We
are, but I think the idea that there are services out on a network like a transcode service or multiple instances of a transcode service, and it just exists out there and systems can call on that as they need it, that really is a different way of thinking about designing these systems. A lot of people are wanting to go to these more flexible systems. There is some concern, really, when people talk about adopting these, that you need some very large, heavyweight application, some kind of heavyweight orchestration over that. And I think you'll start hearing more about something called event-driven architecture in the coming implementations. And it's just a much lighter weight way to implement these, where when a service finishes, it just sends out notification that that event has finished. And whoever is subscribed to listen to that particular channel of notifications, it might be as simple as just a logger that just makes a note that an ingest is complete. It would just listen to that channel. It's done, it sends out a notification, and then the logger fires off and does its logging of one line, and it's done. Much lighter ways to implement this than something that might be a full-up orchestration system. So I think ultimately we'll see a combination of these two systems, and that should also reduce risk and allow people to try this kind of new way of thinking without making a huge investment in an orchestration system.
Well, thanks very much, Brad, for giving us the update on FIMS. And if you do, FIMS is a complex subject, and if you want to find out more about it, you can go to fims.tv, and there's a lot more information about the framework. From David Austerberry at the NAB 2013, thank you.